what I look at in terms of the work that I do focuses on, I would say probably one of the main goals of this nation, when you look at e pluribus unum, and how it really didn't start that way from a nationalistic perspective, that how we really get to a place where people feel like the person sitting next to them, regardless of their background, regardless of their skin color, their sexual orientation, whatever it may be, that we really are equal and that everybody adds value. So with that, the deconstruction of white supremacy is, I would say, at the forefront, because with that sort of ideology undergirding everything that happens in terms of policy, in terms of perception, that we're really looking at roots of this nation that need to be perhaps unrooted. So with that how do I help people shift their perceptions of who they are and who the other is, and look at how we perceive one another in a very unified way. And so for me, as somebody right here with the privilege of being a professor, the privilege of my credentials, is what do I do with this privileged status to try to open up the hearts in a way in which we look at this master narrative that is written in such a way that it perpetuates exclusion, moral exclusion, which is a term I learned from Brene Brown, and the moral exclusion of, I believe in goodness as long as it's only pertaining to people that look like me and believe like me. So how do you open up that sort of thinking and get them to recognize that they too were given sanctuary at one time? When I started teaching here, it was remarkable that as I started teaching the multicultural counseling classes in the counseling department here, I found that as we started talking about difficult topics, that students got very polarized based on race. So I'd have my Euro-American students on one side, and I have my students of color, and you could feel the anguish, you could feel the shame on one side, and you could feel the anger on another. And for me, as a professor, my job is to try to help everybody get to the place where they can work from a perspective of social justice, work in a cross-cultural context, and to identify areas in which they themselves have to interject themselves to change the way people perceive themselves, and even the way they perceive others. And sometimes it means even changing the climate of where people may be embedded, right? So, but you have to do that from a place of seeing our communities and what needs to change to make our communities safe for everybody.